We are going to talk about random number generation and random sampling in this quick tutorial. Less than 5 minutes, so bear with me here. Let's create a bucket of numbers, and inside of this bucket, let's put our numbers in. We're going to put a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 randomly. Hit Command Enter. You see the bucket has been filled with these numbers. Now let's say we want to sample out of this bucket and figure out what's in the bucket. So let's do a sample called S1, and I'm going to use a built-in function called sample, and I'm going to say, well, what do I want to sample? I want to sample from the bucket. How many do I want to sample? I want to take 3 items from that bucket and replace. I am going to say replace equals false, as in if I pull the number out of the bucket, that is gone. It is no longer available for my next sample. So if I hit Option Enter, which is just going to run that line, you'll see over here in S1 that I have a number 3, 1, and 4. Notice that there's no repeats. Let's run Option Return or Option Enter a few times and keep notice of those numbers 2, 3, 6, 5, 3, 2, that they don't repeat. That's because I have replace equals false. If I change this to true and I do Option Return, the very first one is 144. There's already a repeat. So after I pull the first number from the bucket, which was in this case the number 1, I put the number 1 back. Then I pull another item from the bucket, and that's the number 2 or the number 4 I happen to get, and then I put the 4 back. And the third pull, I pulled a 4, and so it repeated. So let's make this a little bit more fun and create a bucket full of a sample of 3,000 with replace equals true from this bucket of these numbers. So Command Enter on that. As you can see, there's repeats because there's no other way to pull 3,000 out of a bucket full of 6, so it has to repeat. And you see that there's tons of numbers there, too much to even put on here. So if I actually type in S1 here, you'll see all the numbers here. There's tons of them. So how do we make sense of this number, or of these numbers? Well, let's do a quick histogram. HIST, and we'll just put in the S1 there. Command Enter, and the histogram has been created for us. So it's pretty simple. It shows the numbers 1 through 6 and the frequency of times that you've pulled those numbers from our random sample. Let's run it a couple times just to see the bar plot, or the histogram, I'm sorry, change. So you see it change slightly as I do it. So you know that we're getting random numbers. Okay, so let's say we didn't want a random sample from this bucket, but we wanted to do purely random numbers, but we wanted to do a min and max. So instead of using the bucket, I'm going to go ahead and change this bucket into a runif statement. So inside of these parentheses, I'm going to put some parameters. I want it to return me 20 numbers. 20 numbers. That's what I want it to return. And I want the numbers to be between a minimum of 10 and a maximum of 20. So I'm going to pull 20 numbers randomly, and they're all going to be between 10 and 20. And what's going to return is a bucket that contains that. And of that bucket, I'm going to sample 3,000 times. You'll see this is going to get a little crazy here. So I hit S1, and then I'm going to do a histogram of that. And we have our histogram here. So this is very random because of the runif. I should have done the runif. I could do a random number is equal to runif 20 min equals 10 max equals 20. Here, that's what did I do here? Oh, rnum not found. I forgot the little equals on there. So that's fine. And then instead of having the runif within this first parameter, let's just go ahead and put rnum in there, and we have our new histogram, and we can rerun that, and our histogram will change quite a lot. But what I want to show you is that the r_num down here is just a bunch of random numbers. So we created them, but they're all between 10 and 20, and they could be continuous. It's a decimal number. But so I wanted to show you that you can pick random ones out of that. And the histogram automatically bins them for us, and we'll talk more about that in the next lesson.